And we're going to do a review of this Excellent Men's by Christopher Claremont. Now, some people think that Christopher Claremont is the best writer of all the Excellent Men's, but I'm here today to tell you that they are wrong. He is fucking rubbish, and there's plenty of proof in this comic alone. One thing that I always say about him is that he likes to write strong female characters. But he doesn't. What he likes to do is, he likes to take a female character, say that she is perfect, and make her more powerful. Because that is what turns him on. A woman in control, or the image of a woman in control. We've got this cover here of all the Excellent Men's, all the classics. You might be looking at it and thinking, oh, that is a lot of characters. Maybe that is too many characters. And if you're thinking that, then you are out of luck, because there's even more characters inside. Right, I'll name them counterclockwise, which is the opposite of clockwise. Up here we have got Squealy. He was in one of the comics I reviewed before, the paedophile torture porn one. If you've got a telly box, you might recognise this man. This is Legion's Daniel Stevens. Now, if you've ever been to the cinema, you will no doubt recognise this woman, because she has been in lots of films now. This is Hermione Granger. He's called Fog. This woman is boring. That is Miss Magnets, and this big bastard at the back. Don't be thinking that is Strong Guy, you idiot. That is clearly Sunder. If you confuse them two, then you are just stupid. Right, we start off this one, and Miss Magnets, right? Miss Magnets is one of the most powerful of all the Excellent Men's, because she has control over magnets. And what Christopher Claremont, a writer of strong female characters, has done, he has taken away the powers that made her one of the most strongest female characters, and he has replaced them with, she has like super strength now, so she can punch through walls. So he has taken one of the strongest female characters and has just made her one of the strongest female characters aesthetically. And this writer of strong female characters, the doctor doing the experiments on her, is dressed like a cheap hooker. Right, not even a good one. Like, she would suck you off for 15 quid or something. Right, and there she is super strong and stuff, and you can see that she is tall. We have got Squealy. He has gone to meet Hermione, and Hermione has brought her friend, Nazi officer. And what's happening is there is a sniper, and the sniper shoots Squealy. And these are the baddies. They're robots called the Reavers, and they want to kill all the Excellent Men's. And you might be thinking this last 2 pages has been quite tense and dramatic and stuff. But one thing that Christopher Claremont does without fail is he writes irrelevant rubbish. Like, he will have cosmic goddesses, or like sideways dimensions ruled over by a giant dog with a magic necklace, or he'll have like a secret race of people who have been alive since the Roman days in the rainforest, or he'll just like have demons taking over the world. And what he does is, he's had this nice dramatic scene, and he fucking ruins it by having 2 fucking mermaids randomly show up and save Squealy. And then Hermione teleports them to the lab with Miss Magnets and the hooker, and we've got these 2 racist characters here. They used to be white people, but they were transformed by Native American magic into Native Americans. I mean, that is practically blackface. And here we have got the writer of strong female characters. Hermione Granger uses her powers to put them all in Excellent Men uniforms. But oh no, now they are all dressed like strippers. Fucking ludicrous. And then they go and get changed in their proper uniforms. And then we've got this bit with this woman who's also dressed like a prostitute. And then the comic starts to get exciting. We have got Legions and Sunder. They are doing some babysitting. and then the Reavers show up and they start shooting everyone. And if you've never seen Legion's telly box show, Daniel Stevens is his real name, and he is a schizophrenic, but all his personalities have different superpowers. It is a good idea, and like some of the personalities are like nasty, they're like psychopaths and stuff. And he is using one of his personalities now to make a force field to block off Sunder and the children from getting shot. But unfortunately, this personality is one of the bad ones, because he actually lowers the force field so Sunder gets shot in the back. And then we're like, oh no, not Sunder, he was my favourite Excellent Man character. What a shame. And then one of the racist Native Americans comes in and starts shooting. Then Miss Magnets does a rubbish She-Hulk impression. But this bit's good because we see Legions again, and he's just, because he's in one of his psychopath personalities, he's just enjoying it. And I like this little bit here, because one of the Reavers puts a gun to his head and he's like, so tell me kid, what's so funny? Whose side you on anyway? And then he switches personalities and becomes one that controls fire. He burns the Reaver. And then the racist Native American, he gets Legions and they leave. And I like this little bit of dialogue here. Danny, are you okay? Come on, let's catch up with the others. Will they attack again? Will there be more fighting? Afraid so. Good, I can't wait. This is fun. Because he's one of the bad personalities. And here is something else that Christopher Clairvoyant does loads, which is he writes absolute, profoundly rubbish, ponderous dreck. And I'm just going to read the next 2.5 pages because it is fucking shit. Right? Time, the frame and arbiter of our existence, for all save me. People's perceptions confined to the experiences of their own lives. Short little mayfly flashes of light against the backdrop of infinity. Past and present have reality because we've lived through them. The future, that great unknown, remains but a dream. For all save me. I am destiny. I have been blind since birth, yet my inner sight has served me as well, if not better, than any eyes. If anything, it has grown keener with age and use. Yet, in all I can remember, I have never found myself in such a place as this. A room of purest crystal, embraced by crystal gardens beyond, wherein I find a statue of Raven Darkholm, the name she chose for herself, just as she did the core identity Mystic. She has never looked more lovely. This is Raven as I know her, the spirit soul within my dearest friend, full of strength and courage and passion, that I have loved from the moment we met. But she is not alone here. Everywhere I turn, statues abound, each exemplifying the noblest, finest aspects of the person they represent. Possessing such beauty, they make my heart ache. Then I realise that everything around me is carved from crystal. Birds, animals, insects, flowers, even the distant mountains and the ground beneath my feet, all frozen in a moment of sublime, absolute, transcendent perfection. Overhead, a crystal moon glitters in the firmament beside a crystal sun, and suddenly I am the one overhead, with the vast panoply of the Milky Way strewn before me. All the stars that ever were, the beings that live on their attendant worlds. No more I weep, without knowing whether from grief at what's been lost, or joy at the indescribable glory that remains. I mean, it's fucking shit, isn't it? And there she says indescribable glory. I'm sure you could find a way to, of all this prattling on, I'm sure you could find a way to describe it. And like, it's not even good prose, because like here we have got, yeah, in all I can remember, I have never found myself, ... So there's a gap there. In such a place as this. No, by those dots there, that means something completely different. There it's saying, I have never found myself. But it's literally, it is just in such a place as this. And it is so repetitive and and like here she goes, everything around me is crystal, but right here she was pointing out that everything was crystal already. Fucking rubbish, and we're not even finished yet. And with those tears, the awareness that my moment has come. Yet even as glory envelopes me, I hear some small part of me shriek, a denial, calling on me to fight and somehow save myself. Too late. Fucking awful. Then we cut back to the good bits, the action bits. And here we have got Hermione Granger. She is fighting off the Reavers. And this is credit where credit is due, as always. He might write strong female characters badly, pretending to write strong female characters, but he does actually write her as naturally strong with her magic. She is quite useful. Like, he hasn't made her suddenly like the goddess of a African nation, or like the sovereign queen of a limbo dimension or something like that. She's just using her magic. And then what happens to her is the Reavers, they capture her and the Nazi officer. And then we have got the Smurf woman. She has been told that she has got to work with Fog, and they've got to go save the Excellent Men's. And what happens is the hooker, she has changed into a less revealing costume, but is still very prostitute-y. Like, a prostitute would still wear that, but maybe like you're looking at 40 to 50 quid for a blowjob. And then alright, we're at the end now actually. Sunder, he isn't dead yet, he's beating up the Raver that shot him, and then another shoots him from behind, and oh no, Sunder is dead. This would be a good dramatic impact if you literally hadn't just done the exact same thing a couple of pages ago and then contradicted it by saying that he's actually strong enough to survive bullets. And then we've got To Be Continued, and I do actually have the next issue of this story, and I think I'll review that one. This comic, I do not like Christopher Clairvoyant. I think he is overrated, and he writes absolutely irrelevant and embarrassing prose. That is why I'm unfortunately going to have to give this comic 7 thumbs up.